All right, I'm going to play with some blues today. I got a range of blues, some interference, chameleons, whites. I guess y'all are getting used to my color palettes lately. I might have to change things up soon. All right, flip cup time. All right, got these greased and ready to go. Howdy, howdy, this is Clara Lawrence, and I had a bunch of little projects to work on today, finishing up things. Actually, I was doing a bunch of ring bowls and had to do some second layers on them, just so I can get them done, get them out of the way, actually get them out of my project area. So I had some, of course, leftover resin. And so now it's flipped around where my leftover resin is being used to do a project, but the original intent was to do leftover stuff. So I'm going to put this guy off to the side. Well, let's see if I've got a large cup. No. I'll just do this. All right. I usually get one of those really big cups. And bring you down. I've gotten some feedback that people like seeing how I put things in the cup, so hopefully my hand doesn't block the view most of the time. So I mixed up some Blue Moon, but I wanted it to be more contrasty, so I added some black to it. Because a lot of these tones, the blue tones were kind of medium in shade, and I just wanted to have a bit of contrast, and I didn't want to do black, so I chose to do a really dark, almost like a navy blue. I'm going to do quite a bit, I think, of that. I'm going to pour about half a cup of each of the colors in there, and I'm going to end it with quite a bit of, I need to put these off. My counter, or my work area, is a bit on the messy side, and I want to keep this nice and clean for that, so I got to be mindful of it. All right, I've got a bunch of interference, shimmery kind of colors that I'm putting here too. So I've got an interference blue, it's like a pearl color, and then a gold interference, which also has a pearlescent type of shimmer to it. And then I've got resin on my table that has been poured about 5 or 6 hours ago, so it's just sticky enough that it comes off like taffy, and the cups are sitting on top of it, so I get these strings every time I pick up the cup. It's like, woo. Okay, and that last one was a chameleon, and that is Dalmatian Obsession. Whoops, about to drip white. I'm gonna do that. Okay, so I'm gonna start back up. You know, I'm gonna go in reverse order. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I went all the way from the dark blue in transition to medium blues, the interference colors. Here I am, I'm talking with my fingers again. Interference colors to the white, and now I'm going back down and end with the blue. So hopefully I'll end up with a very light area of this with the flip cup. And I've got some colors in here that will probably make some cells. Actually, I got one color in here. I'll have a reaction to make cells. But the process of a flip cup a lot of times will do that too. Oh, the bottom of these cups are super sticky. This is looking very opalescent in my cup here because of all these interferences and chameleons and stuff. Very pretty. Okay. And we go with the blue. This is, I think it's called Aqua. This is Color Obsession Aqua. I'll put the colors at the end of the video. I'll take a still shot of them. So if there's any color you're interested in, you just can pull that up and get the name and the brand and stuff. And I order all my colors from Artist Till Death. And I've got a coupon code and a description. It's Howdy. All right, let me clean off my paws because my paws are sticky. I don't want to touch my tray. I got two things going on. I got taffy resin, which doesn't clean off very fast, and then the resin currently. Let's see, hopefully I can do this without changing gloves, and I think I can. Okay, so it looks kind of interesting. All right, put that to the side, right there. Get that off. All right. So I'm using my traditional Stone Coat Art Coat resin, which today I'm actually not at the end of my working time. I just went through a whole lot of resin quick. Go. Now you can see the cup better. See? Look at all that shimmer. Doesn't that look opaly like? Except for the blue blob in the middle. Okay, so flip cup. There's two different ways to do a dirty pour. This is basically what it means by a dirty pour. It's your, this cup is now contaminated because it's not a pure color. It's mixed up with other colors. And that's what the dirty part of the dirty cup comes from. Now, a technique for it is either a slow pour or a flip. And both yield kind of two different results. We're going to do flip. I'm just waiting enough for the resin to move down. And what's really interesting sometimes is the colors that come out below and how they look. Yeah, I don't know how long you wait. It's, you know, resin moves slowly. It's just kind of one of those, well, this feels about right. Let's see if I can zoom you in a little bit. Look down here. Ooh, I'm hoping that the rest of the tray looks like that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna kind of swirl it back around. And I usually go back on itself kind of to create a ribbon. But I'm also wiggling it side to side so that I don't drip everywhere too. I got big blobs on the side of my cup. I'm trying to prevent it from making a huge mess. Okay. Okay. Wow already. Just wow. Super wow. I'm going to give it a little bit of a moment to settle out before I start tilting that around. I did a flip cup a while back that created this little pocket of whitish, bluish color, but it had some shimmer to it, and the cells it created reminded me a lot of what acrylic paint does. And I kind of wanted to do something like that. And I think what the terminology is a cloud pour or cloud cells. I'm I have to look back at my own video to see how I did that. And maybe it's just the way I layered up the colors that made that happen. I'm gonna bring you in, hang on. All right, zoom you in real quick. So remember, I've got that dark blue in there, and it's coming in from the bottom. So those are not pits. But this up here is looking really interesting. I don't know what's gonna happen. One big dot. But the cool thing about a dirty pour is you get these really nice blends. Well, this is going to be really interesting. I don't know what's going to happen here. Mystery. Okay. So we got blue speckles coming up everywhere. My gut says I want some contrast in here, but not real sure. Okay, I'm gonna go with my gut. My gut's usually pretty good most of the time. So I've got that dark blue, and I'm just gonna pour a really nice big juicy swipe here. And hopefully it doesn't get tilted off. Right. No. I'm gonna hit it with torch just a little bit to blend those edges so it's not such a strong line. Be. Okay. This also gave it a little bit of time to, you know what? Okay. So Stone Coat Art Coat resin will do, and I believe the countertops version will do this too. If you heat up just one area of it, that one area will move and then the other area won't move. So that's what I was seeing when I started tilting it, is that, remember I had just blown this out. So when I started tilting it, this area was going, oh, I'm gonna speed up, and this area was going, I'm gonna move very slowly. And I'm like, uh-oh, because I didn't want this to go over top of all that. So let's see what happens. Maybe I have to go the other way. We'll have to see. And I'm just gonna try and touch the sides without putting too much of a spin on this. But you know how it goes. You have one plan and sometimes the resin has another. Just getting this to go edge to edge, and then I could tilt it back how I would like to get it to look. It's a bit tricky too, because it self-levels. Well, that is kind of bizarre. I have to admit, it's kind of bizarre. I'm not sure I like that area, actually. That is weird. almost looks alien-like. Yeah, you can see some influence with me, huh? All right, let's see now. What do I want to do with this? Okay. Try and pick up my white cup without bringing all the old resin up with it. There it is. Okay. This is the chameleon. I'm going to get the blue interference too, because the chameleon and the blue interference are very similar. So I thought that they would work well together. Especially in here. Okay. So the thought is that I'm going to heat this up and blow this over in this direction. So it's going to keep this little spray going. It's going to have this very similar look to it over here, but have it, I kind of want to cover that up. Let's get to the point. I kind of want to cover that up. It looks a little off to me. So let's do it. Now I've got colors in here that are going to create reactions when you put color over them. So in this case, the cell reactor is this aqua color. And I'm going to get some cells that are going to pop up by moving the color over. That's why these cells started popping up here. Okay, I'm gonna let this cool off and I'll come back to it. Okay. So, not going quite as planned. Let's see if we can pull ourselves out of it. Okay, so there's a whole lot of this aqua color in here. I'm gonna take advantage of it. I'm gonna see if I can swipe it, and we're gonna see if I can connect the dark blue into the rest of this area. So that's kind of the initial plan for right now. Let's see what we can do here. And I don't have any swiping papers left over, which I need to cut up some. All right, so I'm adding more of that dark blue. And I'm gonna put in here just a little line of the chameleon, mainly because I only have a little line of the, oop, I lied. That's the interference blue. Let's see, do I have any? I do have a tiny bit, barely. then this aqua here is a shifting type color. I think it's got some interference properties in it also. And then a little line of the aqua, just to make sure. So this is Color Passion, and that's one of those things that you have to move the color over top of in order to create cells. So just so that you know that. All right, I got a cup handy, and I have kind of like a putty knife, or what is this? Like a Bondo spreader kind of a thing that I'm going to use. Hopefully it's not too wide. And just barely make contact. And drag it over and get it out of there. All right, not crazy about that line there. So we're just going to tweak that out until we get something we like. In other words, make it look intentional. All right, I think we got potential. Feel better? This is interesting, one big eye there. So this is starting to break up in a little bitty wave of cells, and that's okay. But this is kind of storming in, coming over here. So it's giving us some flow. And I'm okay with it being kind of falling apart over here a little bit, because now your eye goes from here to here and it flows around. And you get the pretty ribbons of the interference coming through there. So it's a much more appealing now. Okay. Claire's happy. Yay! Hang on. All right, now for your close-up. So we'll go ahead and start over here. Let me zoom in. So this is really interesting, and it may or may not change a whole bunch. I think it might change a little bit more. And then it moves over to here. So I've got that, see how I added a whole bunch more of that dark blue, and then I built up some other colors behind it. So it grabbed that blue and it brought it over and it blended it out, and it got gradually lighter as it came over here. And it probably deposited some of those little interference and chameleon blends all throughout that. It's kind of breaking up nicely there. Take a step so I can get closer. So a lot going on right in that zone there, or especially when you're zoomed in. So yeah, much happier with it. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what to do next. So yeah, we're done with that. All right, I'll put this sucker away. Let it finish cooking. And I think I got a reveal video coming out pretty soon with a whole bunch of these that I worked on. So I will put that out next. There you go. All right, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Definitely hit the bell to get notified next time I put a video up. And check the links in the description below for lots of things. Artist Till Death is where I get all my colors from. And there's a coupon code down there too, as well as any supplies you might be interested in that you're wondering where I got this or that from. And my Etsy store, because I've got art stuff up there for sale, including some stickers too. So check it out. There you go.